Assalamu alaikum ji. Welcome to another episode of EdTech 2.0, where we explore with the help of our guests the future of learning. Today, we're lucky, and who better to have with us as a guest to speak with us on this topic than the president of UMT, Ibrahim Saab. I welcome you on board. But before I get to you, I want to introduce you in a very specific context because you inherit a lot of intellectual lineage. I have a book with me. Its title is Way to the Quran, and it's written by your Dada, Khurram Murad Saab. I just want to read to you, with your permission, just one little paragraph, and then we'll open up our conversation. And this is important because it will set the stage for our entire conversation. He says, by understanding and obeying the Quran in our own setting, we will find it as far as possible as much contemporary event for ourselves as it was then. For the essence of man has not changed. It is immutable. Only man's externalities, the forms, the modes, the technologies have changed. The pagans of Makkah may be no more, nor the Jews of Yathrib, nor the Christians of Najran, nor even the faithful and the unfaithful of the community at Medina. But the same characters exist all around us. We are human beings exactly as the first recipients were, even though many find it extremely difficult to grapple with the deep implications of this very simple truth. And I think one of the implications he's referring to is कि हर generation ने कुरान को receive करना है और उसको अपनी terms पे relevant बनाना है again and again. But he did mention कि some things remain unchanged. But what struck me at the end of the same book, इन्होंने दो programs भी तरतीब दिए हैं, which was fascinating for me. हम LiveX में भी इस तरह की चीज़ें करने की कोशिश करते हैं. It's like a nano degree कि some group of people, क्योंकि उन्होंने ये काम हर generation ने करना है, so उन्होंने एक program तरतीब दिया है कि somebody who just has a group of people who can only meet for once a month, तो उन्होंने 12 selections किए हैं from the Quran, उसका ordering भी की है ताकि वो लोग इसके ऊपर, and that's his way of entering or accessing Quran. Or somebody, like another group who have more time, who can meet every week, उनके लिए उन्होंने 40 selections दिए हैं. And 40 का number अगर आप देखें, उसमें ये भी provision है from the management point of view कि छुट्टियाँ भी होती हैं बीच में और buffer का भी उन्होंने किया हुआ. So like a great manager. So he's come off to me as a great teacher and as a program designer. But that's how I receive him, knowing very little about him. Since आप उनके पोते हैं, how do you receive him? आप तक उनकी legacy का क्या पहुंचा है? Can you tell us something about that?
First of all, thank you very much for having me today. I know it was being scheduled for a while, but finally we're doing this. So happy to join you. So I think Khurram Murad, his personality was that of someone who put what he believed, what he, whatever ideas that he had, he wanted to put them to action. And his life was something which was filled with events that had practical implications, that had impact on communities, that had effect on thousands and hundreds of thousands of people all across the world. So one of the things that I see, and even in this book when you read, you will see one of the questions he asks is how the measure is that how much Quran has affected your life. True. And the way you live. So if you read it, it's good. But if it doesn't change your life and your perspective, your worldview, and how you will then live your life, right? So that mission and that purpose is very important, because a lot of people believe in a lot of things, but they don't practice it. And by practice, it's not good deeds. It's actually carrying forward a mission, for the greater good of humanity, for the Muslims all across the world for your country. And I was in Bangladesh last week, and so when the fall of Dhaka happened, he became an Indian prisoner of war for 2.5 years.
Okay.
So, having that dedication and commitment to a mission, and that mission stems out of the Quran. What is your identity? Why were you created? And what is your mission? So if you know what your direction is, if you know whatever you do is for a purpose, and if you can somehow change the course of your life through these thoughts, then that is something which I feel was innate in him. And he was by profession an engineer, and then he went to the US for his masters in the late 50s. He went to the University of Minnesota. Once he got done with that, he ventured into engineering design with a firm called Associated Consulting Engineering, and they moved him to Dhaka. So at that time, there were a lot of big infrastructure projects like hydropower dams, road bridges that were being undertaken there. So he was heading that, and he was also part of Tehreek. So he was, used to give regular sessions to youth, to society, and then he was also very patriotic. So he did not want the country to break up. So because of his high profile, and when the fall of Dhaka happened, he became an Indian prisoner of war. And once he got out, then we lived in Pakistan for a few years, and he thought there's a lot of requirement of Muslims in the West. So he went to the UK. He established the Islamic Foundation to do dawah in Muslims in the West, and he had this great global vision. He used to travel to South Africa, to Far East, all over the world, and basically wanted to focus on spiritual and self-development of Muslims as a community, and their collective mission to serve the religion and the world.
Very wonderful. And what I heard you saying a lot of times, so a man on a mission is who he was, and that's how you received him. Coming from Khurram Murad Sahab to Hasan Murad Sahab, your father received his father and his legacy, his missionary approach, and his communal idealism, and he turned it into a building and institution in the form of UMT. What do you think he retained from his father, and what do you think he changed, given that he was responding to his own time's challenges?
One of the things that someone in a video that we shot, as a testimonial after he passed away, so one of the things someone said was that his idea was Islamic Renaissance through education. So, whatever you see, these buildings, faculty, departments, degrees, everything is then, looks like it is meaningless, because there are a lot of institutions which offer these programs or have these facilities in Pakistan, outside of Pakistan, all over the world. But the key idea, as we discuss, is what is the mission, right? What is the end goal? So his idea was that, in our society, there's a great need for leaders, competent leaders, professional managers, ethical people, and that is why they established the Institute of Leadership and Management back in 1990. The idea was to, produce that talent which can then serve the country, serve our companies, organizations, government, which can then obviously grow and develop and result in progress. So that was the main idea, and the initial name IALM is Institute of Leadership and Management, but it also translates to Alif Lam Mim, and ilm So that is something which is play on words or something like that. And then UMT, so University of Management Technology, but if you look at the acronyms, it's UMET. So it's Ummat. So this journey from ilm to Ummat. So that was, I think, all based on a mission. And another thing that you see here is the campus is the orientation of the campus is towards the Qibla, and the masjid is the main centerpiece. So I think behind all these thoughts, our vision is learning, our mission is leading. So I think behind all these thoughts there is a purpose, and that is if we can serve the creator and create that talent that can result in our renaissance, the progress of society, of the Muslim community.
So it's very interesting that so much thought has gone into even the naming of things. And I am one of those people who believe that names are very important. Which brings us to our next question, and also to you now in the same continuum of legacy. Your ancestors have, in their own way, tried answering the question, what is knowledge, or what is a university for? You mentioned ilm. After spending 6 or 8 years as president of UMT now, and when it comes to you, what is your answer to the same question? What is a university for in the largest scheme of things?
So I think universities are, the role is to lead society. And when you talk about society, in society you have obviously industry, B, you have government, C, you have civil society, 4, you also have academia, which is your intelligentsia, right? So the role of a university is to lead society, and what they do is they obviously produce talent, right? They produce people who will go on and become productive members of society, but with the right character, with the right mindset, and if you can, and if your focus is there, then with the right ideology. So that is one thing. And then obviously the world of policy. Policy today is not very research based, evidence based. People in government, they don't have the time to think, they don't do research, they don't know what's going on where in the world. So universities can bridge that gap and help them make the right decision, which can then lead to lives of hundreds of millions of people improving. And see obvious civil society, so awareness, thought leadership, like whatever current issues you have, you talk about them, you bring the best minds across the table. And let's say you have a department which does political science, but what is their impact on the field of politics or political thought in your country? Is that helping society in any way, right? What are their how are their stakeholders benefiting from them? So that is another thing which universities should ideally be doing. If you have that character, if you have that awareness of who you are. So universities, I think, increasingly use this word, they've become like tuition centers, because I think that one of the key reasons for that is that the founders, they were not intellectuals. They did not know what is what and why what is done, why what so they did not know. And we read these modern thinkers, Simon Sinek, he also talks about starting with the why. Why do you do what you do? So if you ask them, a lot of people today, their mission is money, right? And that is the most shallow mission one can have in their life, right? That is like announcing your death today.
So true. So well put.
The mission is obviously what separates you, and for that, like anyone listening to this, you must do deep thinking. You must focus on your inner self, focus on the outer world and see what is your position, where are you placed in history, and what is your destination, and how will you, go about that journey.
No, that's so true. Universities can't create a bubble and start living inside it. Universities are placed inside a community and a society, and they must be answerable to their needs. And so, leaders with characters would be a beautiful mission. But since you've already discussed the business side of things, let me ask you just very briefly that at this young age, no doubt you inherited a mission and an institution. But at this tender age, you also inherited something which nobody really romanticizes, which is a payroll. It's a large enough institution, a private institution, but you're in charge of thousands of people's payroll. So when did that dawn on you, the weight of it? At such young age, people are not supposed to think about these kind of things.
I've never, in a way, thought about it as a responsibility, because I only see myself as a trustee, right? So, in a way, people are getting some sort of provision. It is from Allah, and I am just a vehicle in the middle. But obviously, in practical terms, what you have to do is you have to take decisions which ensure that things are on track. And a lot of people do not have that awareness because maybe they don't have the entrepreneurial mindset. And let's say if, for example, any organization shuts down, right? So the employees can find another job, but the person who's the founder or he would not get any job. So it's important to keep a balance. It's important to take the tough decisions.
And especially it's so true क्योंकि इस वक्त not just पाकिस्तान में आपको तो हर ट्रेंड जो है वो हम ट्रेल कर रहे होते हैं, तो वो ट्रेंड भी बाद में आता है, हमें रियलिटी बाद में हिट होती है. बट यूएस की यूनिवर्सिटीज़, अ लॉट ऑफ यूरोपियन यूनिवर्सिटीज़ आर क्लोजिंग डाउन, सम ऑफ द डिपार्टमेंट्स आर इन बिग ट्रबल, some of the programs are being shut down at the moment, which is an indicator that universities had been holding for too long to something which they weren't supposed to hold on to sacredly. तो आपने, when you look at it, and I know you've been traveling and you have an eye on what's the situation that's developing, AI की वजह से भी कुछ चीज़ें री-इमेजिन करने का मौका मिल रहा है. So what's the mistake you've promised yourself that UMT would never make?
So there are two parts to this. One is the issue with US higher education is the universities have become too big. Their operational cost is sky high. They have a lot of excess staff. They have a lot of resources. They are very asset rich, but they're cash poor. Secondly, in the US, the ROI on higher education is now low. What you have to do is if you go to a decent school, you have to take a $200,000 to $250,000 loan, and if you start making $50,000 a year, so that's not something which can help you pay that quickly, and interest piles up, and student debt is skyrocketing, probably like $1 trillion now. So that is a big issue in Pakistan. When you come out of university, most people do not have student debt, and either their parents pay for it, or the ROI is such that, let's say if you do CS today, at the top university, maybe UMT, it's going to cost you 2 million rupees. You can do it even for 1.2 in any other university, mid-tier university. But even if you do it at 2 million rupees, today our students are getting a starting salary of 150,000. So that is ROI in a year. So in the US, it's 5 times more costlier, and that is why the average profile of a university student is not the same. So here the majority students are 18 to 22. There, the majority students are not in their early 20s, they're in their late 20s. B, they're part-time. C, a lot of them are single parents. So it's very tough there. The economy is tanking. The amount of dollars they printed during COVID. So inflation is sky high. People cannot afford to go to college. The ROI is not there. The expenses have gone up so much in universities that it's not sustainable. They have to change. And what I think Pakistan can learn from this is that we should avoid taking that route. So higher education should not be very costly. The ROI should be there. In ROI, it's not just universities. Their job is to produce the right talent, but it's also the economy. So if your economy grows at 1.7, your population grows at 2.6, so that's a deficit. You won't be able to grow to create enough jobs for the people who are coming out of universities. So the government also needs to take cognizance of the matter and put the attention where they should be putting their attention to, because obviously if your economy is contracting, then people who have jobs today, even they will be out of jobs. So at UMT, one of the things that we're very proud of is the innovation that we do in terms of curriculum, in terms of roadmaps, in terms of the degrees that we design. And
if I can just hold you off on that, because we'll be getting to that. But I think you've wonderfully answered my last question. एंड उसी में से एक जो नेचुरल क्वेश्चन बनता है नेक्स्ट, वो ये कि आपके grandfather was speaking to the challenges of his own time, and he created an answer, a response to that in his own way through a book and other scholarship. Your father, of course, in his own time created an institution. What is the number one challenge which you think faces your own era now? And if not responded to correctly, would be an opportunity missed, or crisis would just become bigger and bigger?
So, an opportunity in terms of
यानी वो कहते हैं ना कि every crisis also is an opportunity. तो वो इस वक्त आपके era में जिसमें आप अब जिंदा हैं, हम सब जिंदा हैं, उसमें what's the biggest challenge facing universities, academia, or the world at large, which must be responded to?
They say if the rate of external change is faster than the rate of internal change, then the end is near. So obviously you have to adopt, you have to be dynamic, you have to be innovative, you have to be creative. You need to know what is needed, what is needed by learners, what is needed by the market. How do you balance that? What is your own idea of how you want to do things? So you have to stay current. That is one of the key things that one needs to do, because when I speak to vice chancellors of public sector universities, they tell me that they haven't updated their curriculum for the last 3 years, and they'll wait for HEC, which is a crime. So you have to be innovative, you have to have a sense of where things are going, awareness, and then you counter it by through innovation. And secondly, something that we like to do is we like to stay ahead of the curve. So we want to predict the trends and we want to create trends. So that is our vision. So what we do is we would like to see what is happening in the next 5-10 years. And so one of the biggest examples is that UMT created its department for AI back in 2019. So that was 7 years ago. That's the year we launched the Bachelor's in AI, Master's in AI. And I had this conversation with the dean at that time, and I looked at plans. I looked at Stanford University's 20-year CS department plan. I read all other plans. I looked at Gartner's hype cycle, and that is how I came to know, because awareness, you need to have that sense. As academicians, you need to have an elevated sense of trends, because the graduates that will come out today, they will retire by about 2065. So you need to give them with the knowledge and skills and whatever is needed to live a
That can
successful
last.
next 4 decades. So if you're not aware, if you're preparing them for the past 2 decades, then that is when you will become obsolete. So if you can somehow uh, predict trends, create trends, and then that is where the advantage will lie.
True. I think well put. So one of the crises, of course, is AI staring every university, and I know you have plans for turning this into an AI native university. Can you say a little bit about that? What changes? Does only the curriculum change, credit hours, exams, or are we talking about a total reimagining of the entire enterprise?
At UMT, you do things in a certain way, and then if you have this new technology that you can use, so obviously you should embed that in whatever work process you currently do, whether it's assessments, whether it's instructional design, whether it's operations, so whether it's learner support. So we have we have developed custom GPT. So we have AI tutors, we have an AI mentor, we have an AI tech incubator. We've tried to use AI in our assessments. We tried to use AI in our roadmap design. So a lot of things we've tried to incorporate AI, and then we tried to pair AI with different disciplines. Like the business school used to offer a BBA. Now they also offer a bachelor's in business and AI. So that is something, and technology we feel has a greater importance now. So another program that we've launched is the bachelor's in management and technology. So management and technology, that is management of technology. So that's a big, opportunity that we see. So you need to obviously use AI, productively, and then a big challenge is that you don't dumb down people. So I feel that human intelligence also needs to gear up, and people need to gear up. They need to develop a sharper mind, deeper thinking skills, more critical thinking skills, because you can obviously raise your work output to a certain level with AI, but if AI gives you the wrong solution, then that exposes you.
True.
Because you do not have the intelligence to correct AI.
True.
So what I say now is you need AI with HI. So HI should be superior than the AI or the LLM that you're using.
Yes.
So if your HI is higher than the AI that you use, then you will be fit for today's world.
True, true. And I think this perfectly circles back, completes the loop with what the passage we read from Khurram Murad Saab's book, that some things are core to the human and they don't change. And I think you've alluded to some of them, critical thinking and in human intelligence. So we need to protect that. If in the end, I could just ask for a quick word of advice to 3 individuals in your own university. Number one, because we've been talking about curriculum, assessment, so on, but the people side of things, if people don't adapt to this new reality, the program won't succeed. So is there one word of advice to the academic leadership at UMT?
So this advice is for anyone who's in any academic leadership position anywhere in the world. So higher education, the model has to evolve with what the current learner mindset is. So we're getting people who were born in the year 2008, right? So that's the cohort that's coming in this year. So you need to get out of this fixed mindset, right, and be adaptive and cater to the needs of the learners that obviously sustain the institutions that we work in. And if we stay fixated with a fixed mindset, then this model will not work anymore, and they will find avenues, and with AI, they can design their own personalized learning experience.
Universities might get irrelevant
Yeah,
if we
yeah,
stick to our
So
ground.
they cannot afford to have a fixed mindset. So do not have a fixed mindset. Have a mindset which is adaptive, and focus on the learners. So whatever we do is for the learners. It's not for ourselves. So student centricity
True.
is something which is key.
This is wonderful. Any specific advice for teachers? क्योंकि academic leadership, administration और students के दरमियान एक layer है, which is the most important layer for as when it comes to university. Do you have an advice for them?
So for faculty, there is only one advice, and that is that you need to have a deep obsession with student success. And you need to have a deep obsession with the discipline you're in. So if you're able to, do these two things, then there's nothing that will be able to stop you.
नहीं, that's so true. Because I think जब COVID time आया, nobody was prepared कि online teaching के लिए लोग prepared नहीं थे, ना trained थे. लेकिन my experience said कि जो creative teachers COVID से पहले थे ना, in the जो performative act classroom के अंदर होता था, जो जिनमें यही दो चीज़ें थी, पैशन फॉर देयर डोमेन एंड मतलब स्टूडेंट्स वेल बीइंग का जिनको ख्याल था, एग्जैक्टली वही टीचर्स थे हु डिड वेल इन द कोविड टाइम, क्योंकि दे लर्नड फॉर द सेक ऑफ देयर स्टूडेंट्स. सो अब AI आ गया है, इट विल बी द सेम टीचर्स आई कैन बेट जो अब इधर भी अच्छा परफॉर्म करेंगे, अडेप्ट करेंगे
आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स थिंकिंग.
एनी एडवाइस फॉर द स्टूडेंट्स हु आर द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट स्टेक होल्डर्स?
I think learning is something which is very important, in the sense that if you don't learn, you don't improve. If you don't learn, you don't know. If you don't learn, you don't grow. So you need to learn, and so you can evolve. You can become a better person. You need to learn so you can deal with life's challenges. You need to learn so you can obviously earn. So learning is essential. Focus on learning and develop long-term characteristics like let's say resilience, develop focus, develop the trait of working hard. So if you can do these things, all have a problem solving mindset. Don't have a problem focused mindset. Have a problem solving focused mindset. So that is something which we need in this world. We need creators, we need innovators, we need people who are always in a learning phase.
I think that's a wonderful graduate attribute list जिसको कहते हैं हम लोग. Last question to you, and it's a personal question. If you could record a message today for your son for 2040, let's say, when he would have grown up and become a man, what would that message be?
I think key message is to know what is real success, right? So don't get distracted by this world and what it has to offer. So know that real success lies in the success of the afterlife, and live a life which is full of meaning. Do good to people, live for others, don't live for yourself, and whatever you do it with the right intent, and Allah will bless you with everything.
You've ended the show with the message which I couldn't have done. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. See you next time, inshallah.